Yeah, welcome back. So here, when I click on any button, right? When I click on any button, that action actually going to the server. We need to check the server performance at a time. So next button when I click, that also will go to the server. But here, what we are trying to do as a performance tester, because you are not the only one, right? In real time, if it is a retail application or any application, do you think you are the only one who is trying to book the ticket? No, right? There would be like hundreds, sometimes thousands of people will try to book the ticket, right? Since you are not the only one who can book the ticket, right? It's available for everyone. Now, when all these people are try to hit the same button, okay, or purchase or any button, so all these requests will go where? This goes to server only. Okay. So each server will have what? The hardware. What do you think server will have? CPU, memory, hard disk. Memory in the sense RAM. So when all the people are trying to hit each of these actions or trying to make, do you think your server is capable of handling these requests or not? That is what we are trying to test as part of performance tester. If I want to test like this can handle, first of all I need to make those actions, right? I need to click the button and check. So you don't do it manually. For that we'll use these tools like Loadrunner, JMeter. Okay. So when I install this in my laptop, and first I need to make the action manually. So it will record everything what you are doing on your browser. Okay. In the browser when I open, it will record all the actions and it will capture all the response from the server. Okay. So that we will create the script. Now when I run my script, I can run with, when you create as a single user. When you run, I can put like, I want to test with 5,000 users. You can put the number 5,000. It will create 5,000 people and it will do the same action with 5,000 people. When it is repeating the same thing, just like record replay, then we'll monitoring these servers. What is the response? CPU is full or still how much percent of CPU is utilized? And do you think RAM is full or still there is a RAM is available? If it is full, we'll send the report saying that your RAM is full when I tested with 5,000 users. You need to increase RAM. You add one more RAM. You can add one more CPU so that your server will be safe. Otherwise, your servers will be crashed. So this is the actually our agenda of testing, doing the performance testing using these tools, right? Now if I want to do this, first of all I need to make these actions, right? First I need to launch, click button. So these actions we call it as what? Transaction. That's why I said. So now these are all the launch, clicks, purchase, and let us say go back home. I can't give names directly like this. You need to give there are standards. If I want to give any name for each action, so here in the document, I'll save the document. Don't worry. In this document, if you observe, for each action I have given a transaction name, right? So this you can give any name. Just I can simply say launch, find, choose, but that is not advisable. You need to follow these standards. Any project you choose, you are working in either retail, healthcare, banking, any, you have to follow these standards. So what is the standard? Say these are the transaction, right? So when I mention any transaction name, let me put in different, yeah, this is my transaction name, right? This is for launch, right? This is the name I have given as a transaction. The first part, what you are giving, this is your project name. This should be your, and this is your scenario name, and this is a serial number. This is your action. So the first part is what? Your project name. Okay, this should be your scenario or script name. What is the scenario here? I'm trying to book the flight, right? Flight booking is my scenario. If it is a cancellation, I'll put flight cancellation. And last one is the action. What is the action you are performing? Right? What I'm trying to do? I'm launching the URL. Simply, some people will give names like this: launch, login, something like this. But it is not advisable. For every transaction, you have to give the name in this format. For second, again you will do this. If you observe, this and this will be same for rest of the transaction. If you observe this, first one is what? Launch URL. So this part is same throughout your scenario. Flight booking, this only the numbering changes here: 1 2 3 4 5. Only the last part will be changing. Launch, click on find flights, choose, purchase. After purchase, go back home, right? So you may have doubt, right? Why I need to follow these standards? Like I can simply say the first one is launch, second one is find, second one, right? Normally when you do the performance testing, you have executed this script, you have created and you have run the test. Now you got the report. Normally your performance test report looks like this. Let me show you the report. Any report. Yeah. This is how when you run your report looks like this. So here you don't run only one script. In reality, I'll run 3 to 4. I told you, right? Maximum 5 to 8 scenarios you will do in a performance project. So after you need to script those 5 scenarios, after that we'll execute or we'll test all the 5 at a time, right? So when I have executed all the tests, now your report looks like this. Now let us say you don't follow these standards. What happens is, this is separate script, Blaze demo flight. This is product, this is another script. If you see, this is another script, right? Another scenario. Now all scenarios will have launch, login common, right? Every scenario will have launch, every scenario will have login. If you don't follow this standard, what happens is, if I just say launch, here also if I say launch, now your client will get confused, right? This launch belongs to which application? This launch belongs to which application? No one will know. So if I give like this standard, now I can tell, okay, this is Blaze demo launch is taking this much of time, this average response time. Now when I click on find flights of Blaze demo or flight booking, this is the response time. Now the client will understand what is this. If I simply give launch or something like that, if I don't give the transaction name, that will also show you your report looks like this. I will show you. I think it is not added here. HTML report. This is actually given properly. And from JMeter I will take. If you don't give any transaction names, let us say, and you generated a report, so it looks like this. So here it says this. By looking at the, do you understand, URL name it will take. This is also somewhat better. I'll show you one first one. JMeter reports, where is? No, these are all fine. reports. Okay, so that is also not generated. Yeah, let me take this report. I think now screen is visible, right? Yeah, now if you see,
Yes.
yeah, you see if I don't give you a transaction name, it will display like this URL. By looking at this, do you know what is this action? No one will understand, right? Your client will kick you if you send report like this. What is this? What you are trying to show me? He will ask you. This simply I can see then one login here. If I give proper transaction name, your report looks like this. Where is our actual report? Yeah, this one. For Blaze demo launch, then clicking on find button, then I click on choose. After that, when I click on submit button, this much time it is taking. This 40 seconds. This is not acceptable because I tested with number of users. How many passed, how many failed, everything you can see in a proper way. Now they will take the action. So it is, see, it is very quick. When I click on choose, it is taking only 3 seconds. This is good. Now when I click on the submit, it is taking 41 seconds. It is average response time. This is not acceptable, right? This kind of report will be sending at the end of the day, whatever you do. How do I do that? If I can give, basic should be correct. What is the basic? For each action, give proper transaction name. First, give the project name, then scenario name, then number, then the action. First one launch, second one this one. So this Excel document very important. We call it as a, you can call it as a clickstream or a performance test case document or a flow document, anything you can say. I have already prepared this for you. You don't need to worry. I will share this document at the time of working on the script. You can use this at the time of scripting. So this is called transaction names. Okay, and the next column is test data. Like, you know, for each action, am I entering any test data? What is first action? Launching URL. We are not entering any test data, right? Just I need to enter the URL. The next action is what? I need to select the cities, right? So this is our application. I need to select the, am I entering anything? I'm just selecting, right? This is data is coming from server and I'm clicking on this find button. So I'm not using any test data. Next action is clicking on this. Am I entering any test data? No, right? So that's why if you are not entering anything, you just leave this blank. So when I click on purchase here, actually I'm entering some test data like customer name, address. So when I click on this, here you are entering, right? Name, address. This is called test data. So sample test data you'll add, like sometimes functional people, they will give you the test data, or application team, they will give us. You don't need to worry. Sample test data. You put that here and test. Now another column in this document is checkpoint. I will explain this when we create the script, but just for your understanding, checkpoints is like validation. Normally when I create any script, right, you don't see the page in the Loadrunner script. See, your Loadrunner script looks like this. Okay, this is how the Loadrunner script, it was generated by your tool. You don't need to worry. But by looking at this, can you see what page, which page actually it is displaying? No, right? So for that purpose only we'll put this checkpoints. So how this will work is, when I launch, right, I need to test, I need to check whether this text is there on this script or on this page or not. So how this will work is, when you run your script, it will search in the page source with that text. If it is font means what? This page is displayed, then only I can get this, right? Say if there is some other page is displayed, for example, then if I search with this in the page source, it says 0, not found, right? So that means some other page is there. You are not on the actual page. So that's how we do the validation with the help of these checkpoints. On each page you need to select one text checkpoint. In this page, this is my checkpoint. Okay, when I click on this is my checkpoint, and after completion you will get what? Thank you, right? This is my checkpoint. What this checkpoint will do is it will search in the response of this page. Okay, Loadrunner always capture the server response, right? Server response. In that server response, it will search with this. So that's why it is important for you to mention the checkpoint on each application for validation purpose, whether your script is properly working or not. If I don't put checkpoint, how do you know that? By looking at the script, you don't know, right? Every time it says pass, pass, pass only. When I run my script and check here in the replay summary, it will give everything pass only. But how do I mention, like, how do I know like it is working properly or not? I need to put some checkpoints. How to put and where to put that, anyway we'll see that. So this you need to, for each scenario you need to prepare this table. First one is what? Description, like what you are trying to do. First step. First one is step 1, description. I am trying to launch the application by entering this URL. So for that you have to give for that action you need to give a name, that is called transaction name. Next I am clicking on this find button after entering the cities. For that I have given name as click find flights. This is common. First part is common. Now I am clicking on this, so I give this name. I need to enter the details on click on purchase. This is how I give, and I'll mention the sample test data so that anyone who want to explore, they can use this test data and explore. At last go back home. Now by going through this you can easily explore, right? Even after 6 months also, if I have these two documents, first one is screenshot document and this Excel document, then simply I'll just repeat the same thing to understand how I need to create this script. First one is this. Okay, in the document it is mentioned, select this one. Just now you see what is expected. Are you getting the correct page or error? If you get error, simply we need to take the screenshot and send it to the manager. If the application is not stable, we don't proceed. Simple. Okay, after that going back home. This is my scenario. This is how you prepare for each and every scenario. Prepared for multiple scenarios. I will share this with you. You can use this at the time of scripting. Okay, now I think, yeah, one more concept I'll explain before we wind up. The first part we just started, that is what? Transaction. Okay. So transaction in terms of client is different. They'll think the number of volume, number of fund transfer, number of sales, those things they call it as a transaction. But as a performance tester, when you say transaction means what? A user action. Okay. Now second one is think time. So what do you mean by think time in terms of Loadrunner? That you need to understand. So we just discuss, right? Where is our this one? So if I want to book the flight ticket, what are the steps I need to perform? These are the steps, right? Anyway, for each step you'll give a different name. That's fine. Now I want to, last one is after purchasing I want to go back home, right? These are the transactions I'm performing if I want to book the flight. Now what is the think time means? Like for example, you are doing as a human being. Okay, so this is my application. This is application, right? What is my first step? I just need to enter the URL in the browser. This first step. After that I am clicking on this find button, right? As a human being, what I'm trying to do, when I launch this and before I click on this, there is some time gap, right? We are not machines, right? So when I click on this find blur button, then I will wait for few seconds to check, okay, which airlines I need to pick. It's in general, it will take 3 to 4 seconds. Then I'm clicking on this. Now I need to enter the details, right? So to enter as a human being, to enter it will take some time, like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Then click on this button. Right? Now I got mine, then I go back home. So between action to action, as a human being, I will take at least 3 seconds or 2 seconds or whatever fast you do. So I want to do it very quickly, but still you have to wait for at least, am I doing 2 seconds gone, right? Here 3 seconds gone. Action to action. Because this is human being. It's natural. But when I create the same thing in Loadrunner, Loadrunner is what? It's a machine. So it will execute immediately without 0 seconds, I mean, even 0.11 seconds gap. It will execute launch. Immediately it will click on this, like step by step, fast, it will execute because it's a machine, right? But do you think it's realistic? No, right? It's not realistic. In real time, do you think people can do that? No one can do that, right? People will definitely take some time by clicking on this. Again, click on this. See, I have taken whatever fast I do, at least I'll take 3 to 4 seconds time, right? Now, when I create my script, it should be realistic and real user scenario, not like a robo. Right? It's just like robo, right? If I just execute fast. So this is my script. My script has these transactions, let us assume. Now how do I make sure that this is working as per the real-time scenario, like just like a real human being is trying to book the ticket? For that, what I need to do, just I'll insert some think time, that is called think time. User is thinking to make the next action, just action to action, you need to insert a think time. How do you insert? There is a function that we'll see anyway. Here you'll say lr underscore think underscore time equal to 3 seconds. You can give any number. If I put 3, it will wait for 3 seconds. So what I need to do for each and after completing this action, put a think time. So what it does is, this is Loadrunner is what? It's a machine, right? You are not doing manually, right? You are using this Loadrunner tool to repeat the actions. So it will just a machine, just it will follow your actions or your instructions. So what I'm saying is, I'll put this think time between actions. Now what happens when I run my script? It will run launch. After that, it will wait for 3 seconds. Then again, it will click on find flights. Then it will wait for 3 seconds. Now at least it is similar to realistic, right? Now again, it will choose any of the airlines, wait for 3 seconds. Then it will enter the details. It will wait for, normally for entering details, you can give up to 5 seconds. Then clicking on purchase button. Now you got the correct page. Then again, wait for 3 seconds, then go back home. This is how we need to insert the think. That is the reason we have think time in place. Think time is like the time interval between two user actions. So if they ask you to define, I will define what is think time. If anyone asks you to what is the think time definition, what you'll say? I'll put different color, yeah. Time interval between two user actions or two transactions. Right, these are all actions only, right? these are all actions, and launch is one action, this is one action. So the time interval between two transactions. So when I give this name, this is one transaction name. With transaction to transaction, there is a time gap, right? That is called think time. Without think time, you can run, but that is not realistic, right? When I run my script or when I do any performance test, it should be realistic. Okay, so to replicate the real-time scenario, we need to implement this think time. Okay, so I think session is going to end. We'll continue the next tomorrow. Okay, so transaction, now you understand what is transaction, what is think time, why we need to do this. So let me share everything. I will share the documents, no worry. Sorry, I should. These definitions they'll ask you in the interview. What do you mean by transaction? Okay, and what do you mean by think time? There are many things we need to learn before actually we start Loadrunner. You need to familiar with these concepts. Okay, so
Yeah.
what is transaction? Transaction is nothing but any user action that can be a button click or a link click. And this one, think time is the time interval between two user actions or two transactions. Okay, yeah, we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, yeah.